baked bread in the world. But I had learned something new. I learned something about French baguettes. And back then, girls, you didn't call your mom. You didn't have a cell phone. And if you called, it was a lot. It was very expensive. So maybe once a month, you got to talk to your mom, maybe. It was mostly through letters. So I learned something about French baguettes. I learned it from a gorgeous French woman, and I could not wait to sink my teeth into making those. And once I got them down and got my own recipe down, I cannot believe how simple and easy it was compared to Mom's whole wheat bread or Grandma's potato white bread. Amazing. I told Mom about it. She'd never heard of French baguettes. We'd never heard of French baguettes before. One of the easiest breads you'll ever make, still my go-to bread after almost 43 years. And I'm going to kind of show you the reasons why. Okay, can you hear me if I yell? Yeah. No. Okay, these are the reasons why. My French baguette I can make from start to finish in 30 minutes. In my book, I tell you from start to finish in 45 minutes. But when you get really good at it, you can do it in 30 minutes. Why is it my go-to bread? Because if I'm out of hamburger buns, I cut myself a hamburger bun or a hot dog bun. Because these freeze amazing. When I cool them, I wrap them in plastic. When I'm going to eat them, I don't wrap them in plastic unless I freeze them. Because that will do what? The plastic will do what? It will make a crunch, right? But it's okay when you go to freeze them. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, let's try it. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, thank you. Oh, now I've got one in another pocket. But I can't get rid of it, so I'm going to put it in this pocket. Okay, it's tied to me now. So, when I needed hamburger buns or hot dog buns, I have them. And all I do is I cut it open. Amazing density on the inside. Little bit crisp on the outside. You can do it however you like it. I'm having lunch for all of my friends. My baguettes come hot out of the oven. I let them cut as much as they would like. Many of the men, when I have somebody say that's doing a job, I make 5 baguettes in the morning. I cut it down the middle. I fill it with anything. From tuna to ham and cheese to turkey and cheese to egg salad, and I take it to them for lunch. Amazing what you can do with this. It's called a lean dough. I'll tell you about it in a second. But the next day you can reheat it, put a little butter or olive oil, which is the key to life. Olive oil is the key to healthy life and the key to a happy life. Olive oil, a little bit of fresh herbs, maybe some fresh Parmesan cheese, broil it. This bread is my go-to bread for almost 43 years. And the reason why every state asks me to do it is because the men can even do it. And I bet your state president can even do it. And his counselor. Because Garland counselor too. Now, how do we make it? Okay. What we're going to do is, I'm going to put my apron on. Real quick, what happened to it? What happened to that apron? Oh, here it is. I'm just going to put my apron on so we can cook. So, the first thing we do, anybody can do this. I have 10-year-olds enough making this bread. I have single dads making this bread. Anybody can do it if you have the desire. So, we need half a cup of water. So right here, we're going to take half a cup of water, warm water. Anything from 100 degrees to 115 is good. What is it that will kill yeast? Does anybody know what will kill yeast? Salt. Hot water. 120 degrees will kill yeast. So anything under that, you're good to go. I'm going to take my yeast, and I only buy my yeast like this, either at Winco or Costco or what do you call it, store that sells in bulk. It's $45 for this. Double bag it, it's going to last you 2 years. I'm using yeast 15 years old that's in my cold storage. So yeast properly taken care of will last a long time. I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of yeast to the half a cup of warm water. Then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to give it a quick little stir, just like that, and I'm going to let it be. Then I'm going to cover it, because that's the way Mom and Grandma did. I'm going to cover it to keep the warmth in. Now, whenever you're working with yeast, you want 72 degrees in your kitchen. So that means you may have to turn up the heat on your stove. You may have to literally turn the heat up. You close all your windows. There should be no drafts because you want your product to rise. And making bread is love, and it's time. And so it's a labor of love. So you want to make your kitchen comfortable for the bread. Okay? So now we're going to take 1 teaspoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. I love using coarse salt even for baking now. And the one reason why I do is because it's less concentrated. I've been everywhere, all over the world, and the chefs that I have worked with are even using coarse salt in baking. I never did that before, but now I'm even loving it in baking. So we have 2 teaspoons of salt, another teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to add up to 3 1/4 cups of flour. Now, I'm using unbleached, all-purpose white flour. But if the recipe calls for 3 1/4 cups, I'm never just going to dump 3 1/4 cups in there. Why? That's exactly right. You might not need that much because it depends on where the flour was grown and what the weather is. So we always go easy on the flour. The biggest mistake in bread making is too much flour. You want a dense bread inside, just like that. You want it dense and soft on the inside, and you want it more crisp on the outside for the baguette. Okay, so I put about 2 cups of flour in. I'll just add a little more, and we'll see where we're at. Now, the reason why I'm demoing with an all-purpose white flour is because if anybody knows anything about a French baguette, that's the original French baguette. But can I make it whole grain? Can I make it with, my favorite is whole wheat white whole wheat. Another favorite is white spelt. Another favorite is kamut. I can mix them all and make multi-grain if I want. I can mix a little bit of whatever goes in with the white. You can make it however you like it. Just remember, when you're using whole wheat or spelt or kamut, it's going to take up more what? Space. So you even go easier on the flour, okay? So, on-purpose white flour is full of empty what? What? Yes, it's full of empty calories. Should we be eating white flour on a consistent basis? Probably not on a totally consistent basis unless you get plenty of greens. If you have plenty of greens in your diet, it's just fine for you to make my French baguettes with unbleached all-purpose white flour. If you don't like greens, you have no business using this flour. But if you do, you're good to go. Okay, this is fine. We've got it foaming up enough. So we're good to add it. I said from start to finish in 45 minutes. I said I can do it in 30. So I'm going to try to prove it to you, although I don't think we have 72 degrees in here. Now we're going to add up to 1 cup of water, and that is our recipe. That is everything we need to make a true French baguette. I got the idea from about a 1,000-year-old recipe. So it's pretty authentic. It's called a lean dough. Does anybody know why? I was talking about a lean dough earlier. Exactly. And what does that mean? Exactly. No oil or butter. Because oil or butter is what? It's a preservative. So in this French baguette recipe, there's no preservative. Okay? It's still a little bit too sticky, so we're going to add a little more flour. And as soon as it starts to come away from the sides of the bowl, we have enough flour. Biggest mistake in bread making, too much flour. Still a little sticky tonight. Okay? We'll add a little more. This looks like it's going to be perfect. The first time I went to get a job to teach cooking classes, there was a chef in Salt Lake. Anybody ever heard of the kitchen store called Sur La Table?
Yes.
Do you have one here?
Yes.
Yes, you do?
At the village.
Oh, well, awesome. I love that store. Anyway, I went to Sur La Table a long time ago to teach cooking classes. And the chef who was working there, the head chef, who was in charge of all the cooking classes, he said, "Can you make pie dough?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "Do it right now. I want you to show me right now." And so I had to make a pie dough right then and there. He said, "I can't make pie dough in Utah." And I said, "Why? Does anybody know why maybe he was having a hard time in Utah making pie dough? Why? So dry. So dry. I don't know how dry you are here. I think you're a little more moist, actually. Okay, we're going to give this dough a quick knead. So, I taught him something. I taught him something about my pie dough. He had to add a little bit more liquid. And he was bound and determined not to add any more liquid. But I taught him something that day, and I was so happy. I was so elated that I got the job. That's really scary to have to make pie dough right on the spot. Okay, we're going to give it a quick knead. Can you show them what this looks like? We're just going to give it a quick knead. When I teach my cooking classes, I only teach breads by hand because I feel that everyone needs to know how to make bread by hand. Can you make this in a Bosch or a KitchenAid? Yes, of course. But learn how to make it by hand. Now, how do we know when we've got enough flour for this recipe? We can knead it for a few minutes if we want, but be careful adding flour. As soon as I'm not picking up any flour off my surface, I know I've got enough. I know I can form my loaves if I want to right now. I can knead it, but we're going to quit. This is just about perfect. So I love my dough scraper. Get one if you don't have one. They're so great. Now, how do we form a baguette? Basically, how we form a baguette is we want to take it and kind of fold it over like a hot dog bun. And then on our countertop, we roll it and we push from the inside out. We push just like this from the inside out to form a baguette. Be careful about the flour as you roll. It will never look the same twice, okay? So it's okay. Whenever you make bread, your bread will never look the same twice. Now, when I started making baguettes all those years ago, of course I'd never heard of a baguette pan, so I laid them side by side on a cookie sheet. And they're just fine, and you can do that too. But when you want to graduate, you can get yourself a baguette. And this is my old, I have two. I love them to death. My baguette pans, we're going to lay them side by side. If we have time, we'll cook them off, but we probably won't. After the meeting, of course, but I just mean, I have some up here that I want you to taste. Okay, so we lay them side by side on a cookie sheet, and then we take our knife. Oh goodness, I'm not sure what happened to the knife. It's fine, okay? So we're just going to cut just a little wave, about a fourth of a wave into that. So we let the air escape, and that's it. The easiest bread you'll ever make. Probably one of the most healthy breads you'll ever eat, especially if you were to make it whole grain. Pretty darn healthy the way it is, but one of the easiest breads you'll ever make. And those smells that come from your kitchen mean so much. They mean the world to those who live in your home. Something about the smell. And you know, there's something about the smell of goodies too. Something about the smell of desserts that makes us happy. Bread and pies and cakes do the same thing for us. We can't live without it. So we have to learn how to eat it, right? We have to teach our kids how to eat it. One of the most important lessons I ever taught our children was how to eat goodies and how to eat bread and how to eat dinner. So this is my rule. I talk a lot about portion control. What does that mean to me? Portion control means I push my plate back when I'm satisfied, not stuffed or full. So just push your plate back when you're satisfied. And then you can have a little bit of dessert. My dessert cups often are these, but they're little amounts. A little bit of ice cream, a little bit of brownie, a little bit of cobbler, a little piece of cake, a little piece of pie, whatever it might be, and not every night, but often. If we bake brownies once a year, what happens? We want to eat the whole thing, right? So we have to make it more on a consistent basis. It's just like making good food on a consistent basis. My husband said he never had to gorge because he knew the next time we ate it was going to be something delicious too. So when we cook, once in a while, everybody has to just stuff because they don't know when they're going to eat something good. Right? So that's another reason we want to cook. Now, the main thing is this. We work outside of the home to make a living bill. And we work inside of the home to make a life. Isn't that why we love what we do as women? We have a chance to run a household, to really make a life in there, to make it comfortable, to make it clean, to make it cozy. It doesn't matter how fancy it is. I have been in every kind of kitchen, $1 million kitchens, tiny little kitchens, and it's the kitchen that is used that I love the most. I don't care if they have the latest and greatest of appliances. All that matters is if your kitchen is being used. And if those smells are coming from your kitchen on a consistent basis. That's all that matters. But we as women are in charge of nutrition and nurturing. And this is one of the biggest things that we need to do. And grandmas, for us, when we have our grandkids, we need to cook the things that they love. What do they love? They love pizza. They love tacos. What do they love? Homemade mac and cheese. They love homemade rolls and homemade bread. They love cookies and cakes and pies. What else do your grandkids love? What? Pork, fried chicken? Cornflake chicken is great. My crunchy Parmesan baked chicken is amazing. There's so many meals that they love. And grandmas, you play a big part of their life. A big, big part of their life. I want to show you before we cook something next. I want to show you how I did my meal plan. It's so simple. It really is. The hardest part about dinner is what? Trying to figure out what to cook. That's the hardest part about dinner. So this is what I did. Monday, after I met with the nutritionist, she taught me a few things that I put in with my meal plan. She said, do you know how great that is for you, that you know what you're having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? And I never really thought of it. It just came off my tongue that that's what we were doing. Because when the kids got home from school, they wanted homemade pizza. Again, I didn't know one person that made homemade pizza. So I had to go to the library, went and got Julia Child's books, but her homemade pizza takes all day. So I had to figure out my own recipe that I could make in like 5 minutes, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. I love her book, I love her recipes, but I had to be more realistic for me. So Friday became pizza night, and one of the most revered nights still. If all of our kids are married with children of their own, if They're not at home making homemade pizza, they're out eating homemade, or out eating pizza. And same with me still. So, pizza night was great. Grill night was grill night because if they didn't want pizza, usually on the weekend they wanted what? Hamburgers. Okay? So hamburger, chicken, hot dogs, sloppy joes I even did on that night. And then when fish became affordable, we were grilling fish all the time. So Sunday was tradition day. That was the day I made all the food Mom and Grandma's made when I was growing up. And we sat at the table and we talked about my husband's life and my life as we were growing up. Amazing and wonderful, wonderful lessons of what we had just learned that day. So Monday, after talking with the nutritionist, became for me comfort food night. We decided and statistically proved if you don't cook on Monday, what happens? The rest of the week goes down the tubes. I have met so many women that say you're exactly right. And I know I'm right. I know I'm right about that. So everybody wanted a comfort food meal. Monday's the hardest day of the whole week. So to come home to a great comfort food meal was wonderful. So what might be one of your comfort foods? Someone name something. Homemade mac and cheese. Okay. Homemade mac and cheese. I have 3 of them. Both quite good. Choose from. What are you going to serve with homemade mac and cheese?
Garlic bread.
How many veggies? At least 2, maybe 3. At least 2, maybe 3. This is where young people have the hardest time understanding. The way I put veggies on the table was for my family. It was 1 frozen, 1 fresh, and 1 canned for the past 43 years. That's how I put veggies on the table for my family. I would not be dead without my canned goods. For me, that's my safety net for my family. I'm in charge of food for my family. So I have to have canned goods. So I have to rotate through the canned goods that we eat and the canned goods that we love to eat. So I have canned goods. What about frozen? Is that better than fresh or about the same?
About the same.
Sometimes better.
Yeah.
Why?
Packed on the same day.
That's true.
Exactly right.
Right.
Exactly right. Oftentimes when we buy fresh, how old are they? I was down in Florida speaking to a large group, and a farmer came up to me afterwards and he said, Liz, I want to teach you something. Do you understand that when you pick fresh broccoli, from 1 to 3 days is 100% nutritional value. After 3 days, it loses a third. After 3 more days, it loses another third. So how old is that broccoli in the store? Sometimes it looks pretty sad to me. So sometimes maybe that frozen broccoli could be our better bet. Because when they put the veggies in the frozen, they're dropping it in at prime. When those beans go into that can, it's dropped in at prime. But so many people are against canned goods. I don't understand why. I really don't. I like to mix them. Now, I love to buy fresh whenever I can, and I know it's really fresh. Out of our garden is amazing. That's the best. But I like to say, serve 1 can, 1 frozen, and 1 fresh. And if you don't want to serve all 3 on one night, at least 2 of those. That's how you put vegetables on the table. 1 raw component is good with any meal. That's why my fridge is never without carrots. I can serve them raw, I can boil them, I can bake them. That's mainly what I do. Steam them. I just steamed them the other day. Steam them. So boiled, steamed, or baked, or raw. Amazing and really good for you. I'm never without carrots. Because if I don't have something raw on the table, I have raw carrots. So, great one. Tuesday became Italian night. Not to be mixed up with pizza night.
Right.
Pizza, back when I was doing it, the nutritionalist wasn't really happy about it. That's when Americans were having that much, the crust is that thick, the meat is that high, and the cheese is that much. But I had been traveling the world, and I had seen how they do pizza in Spain and in Italy. And it's crackers and crust with a little bit of cheese, a little bit of meat. They disperse their ingredients evenly and not very many. So I knew pizza could be really healthy. And the first time, one time I was in Rome and I said, bring me your most fresh, most healthy pizza. And he brought me a pizza, and you know how big they are when you're there, about like this. And it had been baked with fresh mozzarella cheese on top, and then arugula was placed on top of that, with fresh cherry tomatoes, olive oil, coarse salt, ground black pepper, and placed it in front of me. And it was amazing. Actually, the arugula pizza is my signature pizza. I brought it to America. I was the one. It's only been seen around here in the past 10, 12 years. I've been eating it for a long time. They actually called it rocket back in Italy. But that is my signature pizza, and so healthy. There's so many healthy pizzas for you. You can make the dough with whole wheat, with kamut, with spelt. In Europe, they mostly use spelt. Okay, not to get Italian-night mixed up with pizza. This is mostly pasta. If I've had pasta on this night, I'm not having pasta. So I'm choosing chicken marsala, chicken piccata, my Italian chicken and potatoes. What I'm doing is creating a variety of food, which I had no clue was the most healthy way to eat in the whole world. In moderation, a variety of food. Not eating pasta back to back, and one of my number one rules, not eating red meat back to back. Why don't we eat red meat back to back? Anybody know?
Digestion.
It doesn't move through you. Right. So if we eat it every night, it's not healthy. So we can't eat red meat back to back every night. So as we create our meal plan, here we've got homemade mac and cheese. So tonight we're not having pasta, we just had pasta for a comfort meal. So tonight we'll have chicken piccata, which is one such an eat. It sounds fancy, it's so simple. Chicken breast with some yummy sauce on top of it. So we're going to have chicken piccata with more veggies. If you've got leftover canned goods, you're going to serve it down here. If you've got some leftover fresh, you're going to serve it again tonight. Now, Wednesday became fish, meatless, or breakfast night. Anybody know why? Because the nutritionist taught me that it was a good idea to serve fresh fish in the middle of the week. But she also taught me it was a better idea to serve fresh fish 2 to 3 nights a week. But what if you hate fresh fish? That's why I created this night. Fish, meatless, or breakfast night. So if you hate fish and your family just can't tolerate it, then you need to eat meatless. That means no meat at all. So, fish, some people, some vegetarians, some vegans, consider fish a meat. I was taught 36 years ago that fish wasn't a meat, so I'm sticking to that. It's controversial on the internet. However you feel about it, it's fine. But meatless or breakfast, why did I put meat breakfast there? Because if I was having a fish dinner one week, the next week I'm probably going to do breakfast because it's going to cost me next to nothing. And my homemade pancakes, my homemade waffles, my homemade German pancakes take nothing to make and very inexpensive. If you're now spending $800 a month on food, you will now spend $4 with a meal plan. If you are now spending $6, you'll now spend $3. If you go to the grocery store armed with a meal plan, you will spend half. You will now be able to make your car payment, your electric bill, or your house payment. And you'll be able to save a little bit of money for yourself now. I'm dead serious. This is where I save money. The only place I save money. These French baguettes.
That's true.
Practically. These French baguettes in Park City at Whole Foods, I can get from $2.99 to $6.99 for a French baguette. How much can I make this for? How much? Under 30 for one. Something that I'm going to show you how to make in a second. You're not going to believe the cost savings on that. Okay, Thursday became Mexican night. Incredible fish tacos, everything from chicken tacos to beef tacos to fish tacos to enchiladas. Mexican food is so good for you. Eaten in portion control. Beans and rice, amazingly good for you. So you see how you create a variety of food? This is what keeps you healthy. If you live this for a month, you will see a difference in your life. This is your new best friend, olive oil. The only reason you don't use it in baking is because it's going to change the taste of a lot of your baking. You can still use it, but I would go with canola for most of my baking, but I'm even using it in some of my baking. Not all of it, because olive oil has changed my life. The number one best friend in your kitchen, besides greens. From spinach to kale to arugula to, those are my main.
Just lettuce.
Anybody else have a main green that they love?
Iceberg
Romaine,
lettuce.
oh, so good for you. Romaine, big one. What else? Kale, yes. Some of our favorites. Okay, I'm going to show you my go-to pizza dough. Remember, I was telling you how I was doing pizza on Friday night. When David, our oldest, started school, I said, honey, it's Friday night, what would you like to eat? And of course he said pizza. I didn't know how to make pizza, and I couldn't afford to eat out pizza every Friday night. So I had to learn how to make it. So I got busy, and I came up with this recipe. I can have pizza dough ready in 5 minutes. And I'm going to show you how. I take 1 cup of water.
Get Carol's book again.
Warm water again. 1 cup of water.
I'm recording it, so hopefully you can
We're
get
going
it
to
too.
add a tablespoon of yeast.
I still need your recipe.
Now I have a Tuscan Sun pizza dough. In my second book, I went to Italy and studied pizza for a long, long time. Not that long. But over a year. And
that's a
that was
long
a
time.
long time. Studied pizza and really got it down to real Italian cracker thin crust. This is the dough I've been doing for 36 years. Okay, it's still my boys' favorite and go-to dough for them. So I have a cup of warm water. I'm going to add a tablespoon of yeast. And that's it. We're not going to add any sugar to this. We're just going to give it a quick stir, just like that. Just a quick stir. And then we're going to cut bread again. And then in the bowl, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bowl, and a tablespoon of honey. I love to cook with honey because it's a whole food, and it's really good for you. And I use it in lots of things. When I was doing so much whole wheat bread,